Hey guys, it's Ainsley here, and we're going to be doing a drum roll Ted the Caver. So, I haven't got any requests for this, I just want to do it because it's going to be long, alright guys? I'm not gonna lie. The text document is like freaking, you like scroll down like 80 times to get all the way through it, so it's probably gonna be like 6 parts long, and each part's gonna be like an hour long, so stay tuned for that. But this is the first part of Ted the Caver. Alright. Overwhelming number of requests I have received to tell about my many stories and bizarre experiences in a cave not far from my home, I have created this webpage. I will outline the events that have happened to me during the past few months, beginning with my journal into a familiar cave in December 2000 and ending, well, it actually hasn't ended yet. I will use my caving journal and as the text to tell about my recent experience. I will give them to you as I experience them in chronological order. I have included photographs that were taken during my many trips into the cave. I have also created a few illustrations to help the reader get a better idea of what things looked like in the cave. All of the photos were taken by me, or one of the few people I went into the cave with. Most of the pictures were taken with a Kodak disposable type camera. I took a better camera into the cave on 1 or 2 of the trips. Pictures on this site are all original photos and have not been messed with or enhanced. Other were noted. As a rule, I get my pictures put onto disk at the time of developing so I don't have to scan them later. This ensures the best digital quality. I will not reveal any of the names of any other people involved in this experience. If you know me well, though, you probably know them already. I will not reveal the location of the cave to anyone for any reason, so please don't ask. I refuse to be held accountable for anyone's life but my own. I will refer to the cave as Mystery Cave. That is not the real name. If you think these events sound far-fetched, I agree. I would come to the same conclusion had I not experienced them. Caving Journal, 12/30/2000. My pal B and I decided to get in one more caving trip before the new year, so we set our sights on Mystery Cave. Not a spectacular cave, but since neither of us had been caving in a while, it would be nice to go to any cave. There was a bit of excitement at this trip. There was a small passage in the lower portion of the cave that I wanted to check out to see if it was possible to get past. It had a small opening, but lots of air blowing out of it, even though it was way too small to climb through. I had never checked to see what was inside the passage. We got our gear loaded up and hit the road by 3:00 p.m. We went into the cave at great time, since B likes to drive fast. We anchored from the usual tree and began to rappel down into the cave. I went down first and got my gear together while B came down. I will refer to B many times. We have been caving together for many months now. He was injured in a caving accident a few months ago, and was told he would never walk again. Through hard work and perseverance alone, he had only not walks, but he can get around very well in caves. The trickier parts of a cave might slow him down a bit, but he can make it. He patiently works through an obstacle until he gets past it. As for the reference to the small opening in the cave, there's a saying among cavers: if it blows, it goes, meaning a passage has good airflow of air. It's probably worth investigating. After we explored all of the usual passages, we climbed down to check out the hole. The hole is located deep into the cave, near the lowest part of the cave. It is on the side of a cave wall, about 3 or 4 feet from the floor. To look inside the hole, I had to kneel down to duck under an overhang of rock. I used my backup mini-mag light and held it inside to see what I would see. I was excited by what I saw. The wall around the hole was 3 to 5 inches thick. It led into a tight passage. The passage opened up a bit just inside the hole. It continued back about 10 to 12 feet in a small crawl space. After that, it seemed to really open up. although how much we couldn't tell. This could only be a version passage. Obviously, no one has passed through this route, but there was a way that the passage from the other side could be accessed. To even get to the crawl space, we would have to first enlarge the opening. Currently, it's about the size of my fist. Once we got past the opening, we would have to have a tight crawl back to where it opened up. It would take some work, but we thought we could do it. We sat for a few minutes to rest and contemplate our plan of attack. While we sat there in the darkness, we could hear the wind howling from the other side of the passage. It was a low, eerie noise. We could also hear a low rumble from time to time. No big deal, though. The cave is in the vicinity of a highway that has heavy trucks drive on it. We figured the rumble was just the effect of the trucks resonating through the rocks. We determined that our best plan would be to take a bullpen and a small ledgehammer and break up the rock. It seemed pretty straightforward. We widened the hole enough to squeeze in and see what was on the other side. The efforts to haul all the equipment down to the hole would be a pain, but we hoped it would be worth it. I named the passage Floyd's Tomb after Floyd Collins. It seemed to look like a tight spot where Floyd spent his last miserable days on Earth. Floyd Collins was a caver back in the early 1900s. He got stuck in a tight crawl space and was unable to free himself. It is an amazing story that is detailed in the book called Trapped, the story of Floyd Collins. I think that was the title, I don't recall the author. Calling our passage of Floyd's Tomb was not only a tribute to Floyd, but a commentary on the size of the passage. In retrospect, it is funny how simple I thought it was going to be. I figured a few hours work and we would be in. Had I known how long it was going to take, I doubt I would have even begun the project. Had I known what I was going to experience in the cave, I would have never returned. We gathered up our gear and headed for the surface. Normally, I couldn't care less if I came back to the cave. There's nothing special about it. But now I was psyched about getting back and getting through. We hadn't even left the cave and we were planning our return trip. The rest of the journal talked about how we climb out of the cave, our dinner, and our trip back home. January 28th and 27th, 2001. B and I were both excited to get back to the cave and get to work. I figured with about 4 hours we could be in and see what was on the other side. We had arranged to borrow a DeWalt cordless drill to bring with us. We also had many masonry drills to drill with, a sledgehammer to break up the rock, bullpens to insert into the drill holes, and a few other tools that we ended up not using. Getting the tools down to the worksite provided to be a good challenge. One of us would climb down the rope and stop at a ledge or a good resting place, and the other person would lower the tools. We kept doing this routine until we got to the bottom of the cave. Then we had to drag the tools to the hole. It took about an hour to finally get to work. B took the first turn at the hole. After about an hour of exhausting work, we could tell that we were not going to get through in one session. We kept trading off after we worked ourselves into a sweat. One would take a break and get some food and water while the other one went to work. The routine went like this. To begin, we had to get down on our knees, doing our best to avoid smacking our heads on the ceiling. Working in this awkward position, we would drill a wall into the hole. That was very difficult work. We had to push on the drill, and it was still slow progress. Then, we inserted the bullpen into the hole and hammered on it until the rock broke up. Then we would repeat the process. To give you an idea of how slow it went, the typical size rock that would break off was about fingernail size. If we broke off our large piece, about a third the size of my palm, it was a cause for celebration. From time to time, for variety, we would just wail on cold chisel with a 5-pound sledgehammer. It was slow progress. The idea, or the problem with the sledge, was that we couldn't take a good swing because of the tight quarters. Even though we spent many hours and several trips working on the hole, we never did find a better technique for widening the hole. The drill bullpen hammer got the best results for our efforts. We came up with some crazy ideas for breaking up the rock, everything from TNT, never seriously considered though, to hauling a generator to the mouth of the cave and running an extension cord down to a jackhammer. We even thought about using liquid nitrogen to freeze the rock and make it more brittle to break up. After a couple hours of hard work, we realized what our limiting factor was going to be. It was then, about right now, when our first battery met an abrupt death. We had a second battery, so we swapped them out. The second battery lasted a little longer because we hammered and chiseled a little more and a little longer each time. Finally, after about 3 more hours of drudgery, the second battery died, and we called it a night. We could tell that we had done some work in the cave, but it was not much. For the first time since we got into the cave, we sat back, both of us, took a break. It was nice to check our results of the hard work. Then we noticed the howling again. It seemed to just be a little bit louder than the last time we were here. We just figured the wind was blowing a little bit stronger outside. What we could not figure out was the rumbling. It too seemed to be louder and more frequent. This time, we could not attribute the noise to trucks. The noise, or the road that the trucks drive on, was not very busy to begin with. At the time of the night, it should be dead. Yet the rumbling continued. It seemed to be coming from deep within the passage. B said he would ask some veteran cavers what would be causing the noise. We didn't spend a long time admiring our work. We still had to haul the gear up and out of the cave. Actually, we left some of it in the cave. It was still difficult work. What made it worse was that we were both exhausted. Our original plan was to be done with the cave and hit a couple of other caves in the area the next day. Instead, we decided to crash at a nearby motel. My journal goes at great length about the night after we left the cave. We got a room, dinner was excellent, and I didn't sleep well, despite the fact I was exhausted, etc. We both slept in so we could get a late start back into the cave. The second day working on the cave went about the same as first. We worked through until both batteries were dead again. We were still not even close to getting through. The howling and rumbling continued as the day before. I charge up the drill batteries and go back to Mystery Cave.